My mother-in-law, Mil, told me I wasn't good enough for her son and even offered me $1 million to divorce him. She always compared me to a model she wanted him to marry. I'm 28, female, and have been married to James, 30, male, for 2 years. We met 6 years ago in college while studying business at State University. I was there on a scholarship and worked part-time at the campus coffee shop to cover expenses. James, on the other hand, came from a wealthy family. We met at the coffee shop one morning before his class. Unlike other wealthy students, he treated me with respect and genuinely wanted to hear my thoughts on a business ethics case we were studying. We exchanged numbers for a group project, and things just took off from there. We dated all through college, and James always made me feel special. He never looked down on me for coming from a working-class family. My parents own a small hardware store and worked hard to support me and my sister. When James visited my family, he fit right in. He helped my dad organize the store and even learned my mom's apple pie recipe. The trouble started when I met James's mom, Sarah, during our senior year. James had warned me she was picky, but I wasn't prepared for how rude she would be. When we arrived at their huge mansion, Sarah looked at me like I didn't belong. During dinner, she ignored me completely and only talked to James about his future. When I tried to join the conversation, she shut me down and changed the subject to something like their country club membership. Later, I overheard Sarah telling James in their study, "You can do so much better. She's not even pretty enough for our social events. The Richardson's daughter is a lawyer, and Karen's daughter Simone is a model. Why not date someone like them?" James defended me and said he loved me, but Sarah wouldn't let it go. 4 months, she tried to break us up. She'd send James pictures of Simone, a model from another rich family, hoping he'd change his mind. Sarah and Simone's mom had been best friends for years and always wanted their kids to marry. Despite Sarah's behavior, James proposed to me after graduation. He gave me his grandmother's ring, which made Sarah furious because she wanted to save it for someone worthy. Sarah tried to ruin our wedding plans too. She invited hundreds of people we didn't want at the wedding, knowing we wanted something small. When we said no, she spread rumors that I was trying to isolate James from his friends. On our wedding day, Sarah wore black like she was at a funeral. In her speech, she insulted me while pretending to welcome me to the family. She said, "James has always had a charitable heart, and I guess that includes his choice of bride." After we got married, things only got worse. Sarah would show up at our apartment unannounced and leave magazines featuring Simone's modeling photos. She made passive-aggressive comments on social media and told people James had married beneath him. Last month, everything hit a breaking point. Sarah invited us to a family dinner, saying she wanted to make peace, but when we got there, we found out she had also invited Simone. She arranged the seating so James sat next to Simone, while I was stuck at the far end of the table, between 2 empty chairs. During dinner, Sarah kept praising Simone. "Simone just booked a campaign with Gucci," she said, then turned to me and asked, "What was your last project at that little marketing firm? Something about plumbers?" She also kept calling me by the wrong name and making comments about how James always liked blondes like Simone. I have dark hair. The final straw came at dessert. Sarah clinked her glass and announced that she had spoken to a divorce lawyer friend. She said she would happily pay for all the legal fees if James left me for Simone. She even pulled out divorce papers from her purse, ready for James to sign. James was furious. He stood up, grabbed my hand, and we left immediately. Since then, Sarah has been doing everything she can to ruin our marriage. She's been telling everyone that I trapped James and even started a rumor that I had plastic surgery before meeting him, which isn't true. There are plenty of old photos of me looking the same as I do now. James's dad, Tom, tries to stay out of it, saying we should just ignore Sarah, but it's hard. Sarah keeps showing up at our house with Simone, claiming they were just in the neighborhood. She even created a Facebook group called Save James from His Mistake, where she posts side-by-side photos of me and Simone, asking people to vote on who looks better. James blocked her on everything and told her she's not welcome in our lives until she apologizes and accepts me, but Sarah keeps finding ways to contact us. She sent letters to our neighbors, claiming James is stuck in an unhappy marriage with me. She even called my workplace and told my boss that I'm emotionally manipulating James and shouldn't be working in marketing because unstable people don't belong there. I know I'm not a supermodel, but I'm not ugly either. I'm just a regular person who fell in love with someone whose mother thinks no one is good enough for her son. James loves me and says he doesn't care what his mom thinks, but her behavior is starting to affect our lives. Some of his family members have stopped talking to us because they believe Sarah's lies about me being a gold digger. I don't know what to do anymore. James is completely on my side, but Sarah's harassment is exhausting. It's affecting my work, social life, and self-esteem. James suggested getting a restraining order, but I'm worried it would make things worse with his family. Am I wrong for not walking away? Should I divorce James so he can have the life his mother wants for him? Edit. Thank you for your supportive comments. To clarify, James has no interest in Simone or anyone else. He's been amazing throughout all this and stands up to his mother every time. We're just so tired of all the drama. Update 1. First, thank you again for the support. Things have gotten worse since my last post, but knowing I'm not crazy for standing up to Sarah has been a big help. Right after I posted, Sarah hired a private investigator to follow me. At first, I thought I was imagining it when I saw the same guy at my grocery store, gym, and office. Then a coworker showed me Sarah's new Instagram account, The Real James Wife. The account is full of unflattering photos of me doing normal things, like loading groceries, working out, or walking to work. She pairs these with professional shots of Simone. Sarah captions the posts with things like, "What James settled for versus what James deserves. Duck versus swan, you decide." She even posted a picture of me eating a burger with the caption, "No wonder she looks like that. Who will save my son from this?" The harassment got so bad that I changed gyms and grocery stores. I now wear hoodies and sunglasses everywhere because I never know when I'm being photographed. James called the private investigators agency to complain, but they won't stop because Sarah pays them well. Last weekend, James's sister Emma came over in tears. She found out why Sarah is so obsessed with breaking us up. Before James and I even met, Sarah and Simone's mom, Karen, made a deal. They had planned out James and Simone's future without their knowledge. Emma found an old agreement in Sarah's office while looking for family photos. It was a formal document, signed by both Sarah and Karen, from when James and Simone were in high school. It outlined plans for them to marry after college and merge their families' businesses. The agreement detailed everything, what the merged business would look like, which family controlled what, where James and Simone would live, and even that they'd have 3 children, all privately educated. Emma overheard Sarah and Karen arguing about it on the phone. Karen was furious because the failed marriage plan ruined their business merger. Karen's company had already started restructuring for it, assuming James and Simone would marry. When James heard this, he was furious. He drove to Sarah's house to confront her. Sarah defended herself, saying she was just looking out for his future. She even showed him financial projections, saying he could have been one of the youngest billionaires in the state if he'd married Simone. But Sarah wasn't done yet. We found out Sarah had done something even worse. She created a fake profile for James on an exclusive dating app called Elite Singles. She used his LinkedIn photos and wrote a bio describing him as a wealthy heir looking for a suitable partner from a respectable family. The profile even mentioned he was married but seeking better options. Sarah paid for a premium membership and messaged women pretending to be James. Some of these women found me on social media to warn me about my cheating husband. One even sent screenshots where James promised to leave his plain wife for someone more suitable. James reported the profile, but the damage was already done. The screenshots spread through their social circle, and now some of James's relatives believe he's trying to leave me. His cousin Tyler cut off contact, saying he couldn't support James disrespecting his wife. When we explained that Sarah created the profile, Tyler accused us of lying to cover up James's cheating. Sarah is using the confusion to her advantage, telling everyone James made the profile because he's unhappy with me but feels trapped. She even organized a support group for James, inviting friends and family to discuss how they can save him. Some of James's old friends from the country club have been texting him, offering to set him up with their sisters or cousins to help him upgrade. James is furious and is considering legal action against Sarah for defamation and harassment. He's already contacted a lawyer about the fake profile. But Sarah doesn't seem worried. She told James that no judge would side with me, a common wife, over a respected family like theirs. I'm trying to stay strong, but every time I think Sarah can't go lower, she surprises me. James is supportive and reminds me he chose me, not the life his mother planned, but I can't help wondering how long we can keep fighting this battle. Emma, James's sister, moved in with us after Sarah kicked her out for exposing the marriage agreement. She's been a great support, but James's dad, Tom, still refuses to get involved. He thinks we should all just calm down and work it out, but I don't think he understands that Sarah is trying to destroy our marriage. Every time we block Sarah, she finds another way to contact us. Every time we solve one problem, she creates 3 more. I'm starting to understand why some people walk away from toxic family members. Edit. Some people have asked about Simone's role. As far as we know, she was aware of her mother's plans, but didn't actively participate. She just went along with whatever her mother wanted, as she always has. Update 2. I didn't think things could get worse, but they did. Last night, a man named Alex, 29M, showed up at our door. He introduced himself as Simone's boyfriend of 2 years. Yes, Simone has had a boyfriend this entire time. Alex looked exhausted and angry. He said he couldn't stay silent anymore about what Sarah and Simone were doing. According to Alex, 6 months ago, Sarah approached Simone with a proposition. She offered Simone $500,000 to break up our marriage. The plan was simple. Simone would seduce James, convince him to leave me, marry him, and then file for divorce after a year. Sarah even had lawyers ready to ensure Simone would get a large share of James's assets in the divorce. But the worst part? Sarah promised Simone an extra $500,000 if she could get pregnant with James's child during their marriage. Sarah's exact words, according to Alex, were, "We need to secure the family bloodline with someone beautiful." The idea was that having James's baby would tie him to Simone forever and push me out of the picture completely. Alex showed us text messages between Sarah and Simone discussing the plan. Final update, a fresh start. After Sarah's schemes escalated beyond anything we imagined, James and I made the difficult decision to move away and start fresh. We sold our home and relocated to Denver, where we both found new jobs unconnected to our families. James joined a tech startup, and I secured a role in healthcare marketing. We bought a house in a quiet neighborhood where no one knows about Sarah's drama. Sarah's behavior became unbearable after the revelations about her payments to Simone and her attempts to control our lives. She started showing up at James's office, spreading lies to his coworkers and boss, and posting doctored photos and fake messages online. The final straw came when she accessed our private medical records and canceled fertility clinic appointments, then spread lies about my supposed infertility. At this point, James's father, Tom, finally intervened. He filed for divorce after discovering Sarah had spent over $200,000 on her schemes using their joint accounts. This revelation destroyed Sarah's standing in her social circle, leading to public humiliation and the loss of her charity board positions. James's sister, Emma, moved with us to Denver. She's thriving in her new life and has started dating someone. Tom plans to relocate nearby once his divorce is finalized. Sarah hasn't stopped trying to interfere. She sent a 15-page letter, divorce papers, and a $1 million check as a payoff for me to leave James. We returned everything unopened and had our lawyer issue a cease and desist order. Simone also exposed Sarah's actions in a local magazine interview, further tarnishing Sarah's reputation. Where we are now, James and I are happy and finally finding peace. We've made new friends who care about us for who we are, not for appearances or family status. I'm also pregnant, but only Tom and Emma know. We've decided Sarah doesn't deserve to be part of our child's life. Some may think we ran away, but walking away from toxicity was the bravest decision we could make. James says he's never been happier, and neither have I. Takeaway: standing firm together and prioritizing your well-being has shown remarkable strength. Your decision to distance yourselves from Sarah's toxic influence and focus on building a healthier future is inspiring. Congratulations on your pregnancy and new chapter.